Clutch Trucker filmed before a live and furry studio audience. Rusty, the world-famous Meatball Dog. And you can see, it's falling over his eyes. It's almost grooming time again. I tell you, I said this before, I gotta get him groomed more often than I get my hair cut. Kind of crazy, huh? Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Okay, I told you in my last video I was searching for drive tires, trying to get a good deal on them, and while I was fueling up at the TA in Youngstown, I went inside to see what they had, and they didn't have 8 of anything. Alright, take that back. They did have 8 Michelins, which are $673 or something like that per tire. It's like, no, I'm not paying that much. No, sorry. I was trying to stay right around the 3,000-ish range for, tires, mounted, balanced, and everything. And then, of course, I was willing to pay, $200 to $300 more to take all my drives and shift them to the trailer. And so they did look them up and say that, hey, the Petro over there in Girard, just down the road, has 14 of these Daytons, which I tried to get actually a few weeks back in Milesburg at the TA, but they had 1. I'm like, that doesn't do me any good. I need more than that. So I figured, well, that's probably about the best price I'm going to get on something out here. Dayton is Bridgestone's 3rd tier. Bridgestone, Firestone, then Dayton. The Uniroyals, which I've had before, they had some of those in Clearfield, Pennsylvania at the Sapp Brothers, but they only had 3 last time I checked there a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't going to be able to get those in soon enough. But Uniroyal is like Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal. So that's Michelin's 3rd tier. I had these new Dayton steers put on a month or 2 ago. I made a video all about that in Missoula, Montana, and they've been performing fairly well, so I figured, well, let's give these Daytons a try. And since they had 14 of them here at the Petro in Girard, rolled on down. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in the shop, and I'm sure you can hear the air hammer and everything. They're taking off my drives right now. Hey, I wanted to get some video of this. They won't let me stay inside while they're working. I either have to be in the truck or in the lounge. But if you've never seen how they have to do big rig tires before, you see each of them has this special tool that helps them peel the tire off of the wheel. And it's a very involved process, takes a lot of strength. Once they get the air out of them, they have to hop on them to try to break the seal around the rim. And then they use this tool. Look, he puts it under the tire, pushes it up, sometimes needs to have help from the other guy. And see, it gets the edge of the tire up off the wheel. We zoom in a little bit here. And then pushes down and pulls it off the other side. And whoever invented that little tool, obviously, was somebody who had to change out tires. Because now he turns it the other way and it pops it off the other side of the wheel. Kind of an interesting tool. You see them do this in shops all over, and this is how you have to change out these giant semi-truck tires. Not an easy job. They've got all 8 of them down there they're working on. If you look over here, there's my truck with no tires, no wheels on it. Looks kind of interesting. Okay, they've got all my old drive tires off of all those aluminum wheels, and now you can see he's putting my brand new Dayton drives onto the rim, and he's getting it in position. He's got to kind of push it over just about where he wants it, and then it's just all strength. Stand on it, bounce on it, do whatever you got to do to get that first lip down over the wheel. It's not an easy job. This is a job for young guys, not for us old farts. Did you see him using that tool and prying it onto the tire? Yeah, not something us old farts are willing to do, and gotta have some balance while you're doing that too, but he got that one on. He just spun that one, and the machine tells him how many weights he needs to put and where inside. So he's taking his little tool there to clean off where he's going to tape them down, or stick them down. And he sticks them in there, and that balances the tire. I got this whole Conan O'Brien thing going on again. What the... What's up with that? Anyway, well, this was a pretty good deal overall. The TA in Milesburg, Pennsylvania had these Daytons on sale, like I say, a few weeks back, but they had 1. What am I going to do with 1 drive tire? And of course, they had them on the sign, showing a price for 8 out the door. And I'm like, well, but if you don't have 8... But, this is another problem with the whole coronavirus, COVID. It slowed down supply chains. So like getting tires to places like TA's and Petros and Sat Brothers and blah, blah, blah has slowed way down. I tried to get those Uniroyals, like I mentioned earlier in the video, at the Sat Brothers in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, because they had a good deal on those, but they didn't have any more than 3. My truck came with hand kooks. Not a fan of the hand kook. All right, when I checked at Love's the other day, they had hand kooks for sale, but they wanted, damn near $4,000 out the door for those. And I'm like, yeah, they didn't perform that well for me initially. So no. The Dayton drives are $283.24. That includes the FET. And you might say, well, what's FET? Federal excise tax. This is another way truck drivers get screwed. We have to pay an extra tax on top of sales tax because we're buying a tire. We're buying a new tire. Do you guys get charged that for your car tires? No. We do, because it's just another way to squeeze, It's bullshit is what it is. But we have to pay that. I had to pay federal excise tax on this truck when I bought it. About $13,000 extra to the federal government on top of the sales tax because I'm buying a commercial vehicle. I think that's a load of crap. But anyway, back to the rundown of prices. So if you figure a new Bridgestone or a new Michelin is $650 plus, and these were $283 a tire, less than half. Like I say, the Bridgestone or the Michelin, yeah, they're great tires. They're not going to last more than twice the life of this one. I know that. I had a Uniroyal, which is the 3rd tier of Michelin. I got 250,000 miles out of them. That's about all you can expect. These Bridgestones that I'm just swapping out now, I had Bridgestones on this truck because I went through a national account through Turquoise, and I got the tires for around $3,500, and then I had to pay for mounting and balancing on top of that, so it was still like $4,500 out the door. I didn't have that kind of that budget this time, so that's why I was trying to stay around the $3,000 area. I figure because I lost my information because I switched GPSs, somewhere between 250 and 270,000 miles on these Bridgestone drives, which is good. That's very good. That's great. But that's not more than twice what I'd get out of a cheaper drive tire. So that's why I was willing to drop down to the 3rd tier tire from Bridgestone, which is the Dayton's, $283.24 per tire. Now, of course, here's the difference. I was trying to get them from Sat Brothers because Sat Brothers only charges $25 to dismount and mount a tire. TA's and Petros charge $37.99, $38 for the same job. And they charge $34.99 to balance. So by the time you've added the mounting, dismount, and the balancing charge, we're up to $356.22 a tire. Okay, you add all 8 together, that's about $28.49, $2,850 for the set of 8. You can see how this price just keeps creeping on up. And remember, the Michelins or Bridgestones will be more than twice that. Okay, then you got to pay for valve stems. They charge you for that too, $7 per wheel. There's $56. So we're around $2,900-ish for the set. Of course, then now I have to pay local taxes, and I got to pay shop fees, and I wanted to move all my drives to the trailer. I had to pay another $305 for that privilege. Like I say, TA's and Petros a little more. That's where I could have saved some money with Petro or with Sat Brothers. And I had about $200 in Sat Brothers points I could have applied towards it. The Uniroyals would have been a little bit more, and Pennsylvania's taxes would have been a little bit more. So it's kind of all washing out. I was able to use points at TA and Petro to buy these, and they did give me some credit for those trailer tires. Now, I'm a big believer in the TA Petro Ultra 1 points program, and because I can I get up to gear level 5 every month, which means I can use my Ultra credits, which used to just be called shower credits, but I can use those for the reserved parking. I haven't paid for a reserved parking spot at a TA or Petro in more than a year, probably about a year and a half, because I use my Ultra credits for that. You also rack up points. Okay, I used $450 worth of points to offset the cost of that Garmin OTR 1000 GPS I bought, which cost $800. The 450 ate up half of the cost and the tax. And now since then, I'd racked up another $224 in points, so I cashed out $220 in the coupons and used those to help offset the price of my new drive tires and moving the drives, my old drives, to the trailer. And they gave me $120 basically casing credit, which is casing just basically means the sidewalls of the tire, not the tread. As long as it's in good enough shape they can retread them again, they'll give you the $20 for them. Now I had that one that blew out. Well, if you watched my previous video, I had that one that blew out on me at the Loves. Okay, so that one's gone. And then one other one that had been cupping really bad, and they couldn't give me credit for that one. But still, I got credit for 6 of the 8 tires at $20 a pop. There's another 120 knocked off the price. So I got overall $240. No, $340 knocked off of the total price, which was at this point around $3,500 or something. So I only had to pay $3,253.29 for the whole set of new drive tires and to move my current drives onto the trailer. I think that's a pretty good deal overall. And as long as I can get $200,000 out of these drives, I'll be happy. Okay, because like I say, the Bridgestones, I got maybe about $250 out of them, and then I've moved them to the trailer. Hopefully I can get another 20 to 30,000 miles out of those. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But tires, outside of fuel, that's the next most expensive thing you'd pay for as a truck driver, as an owner-operator. You can see those prices creep up. I know that those of you who are just dealing with cars and pickups, you're going, wow, that's a lot of money. Because on your car or pickup tires, what are you getting? Maybe 60, 80,000 miles at most out of those? And they're still pretty expensive. But these things are really expensive, and I got to buy a whole bunch of them. Like I say, they mounted and they unmounted and mounted 16 tires last night. And they did it in just around 4 hours. That was pretty good. Luckily, they had those 2 guys working on it. You saw them both in the video there, how they were just flipping them on and off and doing it all. And luckily, that worked out really well. Because I've sat for 6 or 7 hours just for a set of drives before, waiting for them to do that. So they were quick about it. So I'll give the Petro in Girard, Ohio, props for that. Do have to mention here real quickly that somebody did comment and say that you don't have to go print the coupons at the kiosk anymore with TA and Petro. That's been the one thing I've never liked about the TA Petro Ultra 1 Points program, is how you have to go to the kiosk and print out all these coupons. I had to print out, 4 $50 coupons and 2 $10 coupons to cash in for the tires. But apparently now, on the app, you can do it on the app and just scan it at the register. That'll make things a lot easier. I haven't tried it yet, but I've been told that's a new possibility. So, hey, we'll look into that. Not to mention, after getting all that done and paying for all that, then I got another $64 worth of points because I spent so much at the shop. So essentially, they paid me another $64 for buying my tires from TA and Petro. Now, after doing that previous video where I talked about I had blown the tire and had to get it replaced there at the Loves in Waterloo, Iowa, somebody did comment saying, hey, I want to see pictures of that that rack you have on the back of your cab so I can carry a fully inflated on a wheel tire ready to go for my spare. Because like I talked about in that last video, worst case then if I have to do a road call, all they have to do is spin off the old one and spin on my spare, and I take the bad one and I throw it up in the rack. So I'll show you the rack, and then I'll show you my new drives, and then I'll go back and show you the steers too, because now I've got all matching drives and steers, all Dayton tires. Then we'll see how these things perform. Somebody did request a video of the tire rack I talked about in the last video, and there it is. Alright, see, there it is, mounted to the frame, holds my fully inflated on a wheel, aired up, ready to go. There's a chain, I on a wheel, ready to go. It's trying to snow here in Branford, Connecticut, where I'm actually at. Here's the new drives they have put on. You see they got some good teeth to them. These are the Daytons. You can see down here, if I go upside down, Dayton. These are the D610Ds. D being for drive. Alright, so there's my new drive tires. And there's my old drive tires. See, they still have a fair amount of teeth left on them. They weren't really working too good as drives anymore, but those are perfect for trailer tires. And you see they were wearing real evenly. They're in real good shape overall. So hopefully I can get a few more months out of these as trailer tires, since my other ones were cupping really badly. Now here's the Dayton steer tires I got put on a couple of months ago in Missoula, Montana. These are actually all-position tires, but they work great for steers, and they have a little more tread depth than your typical steer tire has. So I've been impressed with the Dayton steers so far. As cheap as they were, if I can get 75,000 miles out of those steers, I'll be happy. Typically, steers only last you around 100-ish thousand miles. I had some Michelin steers once that lasted me 200,000. That's kind of unusual. You have to make sure you get alignments and that you take care of your tires. You change out your shocks regularly. Shocks are cheap, drivers. If you get the cheaper ones like Alliance or Saks or something, 40 to 50 bucks a shock. And I change out my own steer shocks. I try to change out my drives if I can. Saves a lot of money, and that helps prolong your tire life. That and alignments are the best thing you can do to get the most mileage out of your tires. So I had some extra time to play with on this trip, and I'm glad I was able to drop through Girard, Ohio last night and get that done. I used the new split sleeper berth rule, where you can do one break of anywhere from at least 2 hours, doesn't have a cap on it, and the other one from at least 7 hours in the sleeper berth, no cap on that, to equal at least 10. So I was there for 4.5 hours total time, and was able to stop my 14 so I could continue on as far as I needed to this morning. Now I'm going to be taking more than 7 hours off in the sleeper berth. It's actually going to be, closer to, it's going to be like 21 hours that I'm going to have off here. So I will get a full reset again before I need to leave tomorrow morning to go deliver. There's the tire update. Yeah, I got Dayton drives and Dayton steers now, and my old Bridgestones are on the trailer, and hopefully I can get at least 2 months. I'm hoping maybe 3 to 4 months out of those before I gotta now consider buying a whole new set of trailer tires, because commercial tires ain't cheap. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you guys some information about tires in general and so forth. I was glad I was able to get them done, and boy, they really did a bang-up job and got them done quickly, and that's nice. Please subscribe. Please like and comment if you would like to. I get to your comments. Sometimes takes a day or two because I am a working truck driver. Please ring that bell for notification. Check out our Coffee and Patreon if you feel like supporting the channel. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Oh, you've got to go forward to go back. Better press on.